Finally, we have liftoff and welcome to the very first channel of Life with Paul M. Well, the first question you should be asking yourself is, why are you going to watch my channel? What's in it for you? And what's it all about? Because ultimately your time is precious, so where you put it should be well considered. So Life with Paul M is going to be about many things, but the main common theme is going to be about positivity. It's going to be about fun, about not taking myself or life too seriously. Um, Things of ups and downs of life. We all go through them. What's helped get me through difficult moments? I've gone through mental health challenges, ADHD diagnosis, depression, anxiety, divorce, lost family. All sounds grim, doesn't it? But it happens to all of us, or some of this happens to all of us at some stage of our life. How do I keep that life perspective of gratitude, that positive mindset to work through those difficult moments? It's going to include travel. I love to travel, particularly on my own as a solo traveller or with my daughter Estella, my little princess who's 8. She's going to be part of the channel from time to time. You're going to see us having fun, not taking things more serious than they need to. It'll talk about business. How did I build my fitness brand from my kitchen table? I started with £10,000. 8 years later, we've done more than £7 million sales, and Anthony Joshua, the boxer, invested in the company, which I was so thankful for. We got on QVC, sold worldwide. But why did I then decide to push the pause button on the company? And why was it one of the best decisions of my life? What else will we discuss? You might see me doing some cooking really badly. I'm going to look to keep my videos pretty short, anything between 5 and 15 minutes. If there's certain topics that people want me to explore a little bit more, we can always revisit them and go a bit more in detail. But I want this to be our channel, not my channel. I'm going to be on my own, aren't I? I want it to be our channel. I want it to be part of not just the comments and asking questions and we share tips together, but also talk about topics that we want to explore. I might end up starting off with a podcast channel where people come on and talk about their experiences. I only know what I know. I certainly don't know everything, and I make mistakes every single day. So I like to learn from other people. It will include wellness. What even is wellness? I stumbled across wellness much more over the last 3 years. Even spirituality. What's spirituality? Well, I've stumbled across it the last couple of years again. Plant medicines, things like ayahuasca, deep psychedelic journeys into the mind and the subconsciousness to understand yourself a lot more, not just to understand who we are, why we're wired from certain things that might have happened when we were younger. But then how do you evolve from that? I'm obsessed with the mind and psychology and understanding, because ultimately your mind tells you you feel great, you're feeling awful, don't want to get out of bed, I want to take the world on. And often life is just the same, but how do we get that feeling of perspective, of gratitude, of motivation? What else are we going to talk about? My videos, I will make mistakes on them. I want to try and shoot them in one shot at a time. So if I forget something, stumble my words, I'm going to look to keep it in. With my ADHD brain, it's always thinking. I'll often finish a conversation or maybe finish a video and forget something that I wanted to put in. So you might see little pop-ups of certain words that I'm going to add into the conversation as well. There is no right and wrong in life. It's what works for us. And I believe that there's too much of the world and people. Not only do they show their very best, very best even, there you go, their very best sides to them, which are real, authentic, or just been created for social media. But what about talking about the difficult stuff? What about being honest and vulnerable? Talking about me having several failed businesses, struggling financially, struggling in life. That's real. What do we do to work through it while keeping some sort of positive spin on it? So that's going to be probably all for me on the first episode. I don't know how YouTube works. I mean, this camera might even fall off because it's got quite windy now. You can probably see it shaking a bit. Please add anything into the comments. Let me know what you'd like me to explore and discuss. Ask me any questions that you want. Have a laugh. Take the mick out of me. I'm not bothered. I'll embrace that. Subscribe, like, turn the notifications on, whatever, however it works. But what I will ask as well is, if there's anybody that you think could do with a channel on what I'm hoping to create of positivity, of empathy, of kindness, of support, of happiness, you know, maybe tag them in, maybe forward this channel on, you know, whatever it is. But I want to build, as cheesy as it sounds, I want to build a community of good people with no egos. You know, if somebody thinks they know it all, this isn't the channel for you. You know, I want honest, real people like me, and no doubt like yourself, that we can go on this beautiful journey of life, keeping that perspective of gratitude. You know, our worst day, somebody would love our worst day, if that makes sense. You know, there's a song, Always Look on the Bright Side of Life. You know, behind the clouds, the sun is always there. It always comes up. And sometimes it comes down to faith and belief. It doesn't matter if you're religious, you believe in God, you believe in the universe, you believe in life, you believe in yourself. I think having some sort of faith and belief for a better day, for a better moment, is vital. Because the minute I think you lose any sort of hope and faith and belief, life's even more difficult. So no prejudging, let's support, let's have a laugh. And it looks like I might have done episode 1. Namaste to you all, loads of love, thanks for your support. Hopefully I'll be back for episode 2.